After the pause, which is the way you would start every single challenger match of League of Legends game. It is going to be the side of Team to be determined going up against Curse Gaming. Optimus Tom, joined by Egad, going to take you through this tour to Summoner's Rift as both teams look to be kind of just moving across their sides of the map. We'll see who winds up warding or if there's any level 1 shenanigans that do so happen to go on.
Speaking of level 1 shenanigans, it looks like they're going to be heading towards what was known in MLG as the Dirt Nap Brush when they were around, and now are Velocity. They're going to head towards that brush, and we'll see if they group up as fast as they can. Elise is going to be popping into the Tri-Brush and will get spotted out, as well as she will spot out the Invade. It looks like they actually go in. They connect the Dark Flight. She's chasing after Yoda right now. Going to kill a Spiderling instead, actually, which is pretty big because she cannot cast any spells, so that's going to be one Spiderling dead for this early jungle route.
Yeah, so they want to, going in there onto Yoda, they force him back, just get a little bit more forward vision, and now Yoda's going to have to decide, well, do I go for the red buff that's definitely going to be warded, or do I just want to swap up my jungle pattern and wind up going towards my blue buff? Curse, they're going to wind up recognizing absolutely everything, though, and now it's up to them. Do they just go for vision here? Do they go for a full steal? Looks like it's just going to be some vision control. Well, actually, they're grouping up in this brush. Now they're going to recall.
Yeah, they're going to recall. That pink ward, though, from Zekent does show there is no wards there, and they could potentially be a red buff steal, but it is going to be, it looks like a path for the side of TBD to go towards, as Elise could start red, and they do have pinks coming out all over the place. They're going to spot out Quas over there in that middle lane brush. Voyboy is going to get spotted out by the ward over there. They're pinging on it. They know it's there, and they will notice that the lane swap is coming in.
This is so dangerous, though. TBD does end up having a lot of vision on the top red side, but Elise is down here. She's going to walk in. Oh, the Spiderling, though. They're going to spot out Curse.
All right, so it's going to be given away right there. It looks like they still look to contest this, as looks like Dominate's going to walk in. The pink ward is going to come in. They'll kill that ward instantly, get themselves a nice 15 gold apiece. And now red buff. It's going to be a battle of the smites. It's going to be who can get it. They're pulling it towards the side of Curse, though, as the aggro is bringing it over there. And it looks like Dominate's just going to give it up, and Yoda won't even have to smite it. Oh, he actually did. Just kidding.
Yeah, Yoda smites it just in case to make sure that there's no sort of shenanigans that go on when he comes back in towards that lane. At the same exact time, though, Quas and Voyboy have been in lane already. They've gotten a little bit of CS, but more importantly, they have experience advantages over Arthelon and over Westrice. They forced them to wind up swapping up their lanes again, so they have the level 2 potential to get a kill.
Ooh, and Zekent getting chunked out right there, while Bubbadub is going to stop Dominate from doing his blue buff, and he has yet to take a buff just yet. Elise is heading over there. We do have Sona coming in, as well as Quas, who's level 2. So this potentially could be a huge fight already. The flag gonna knock him back. There's red buff applying the slow. Yoda gonna get initiated on, but there's no flag and drag from Dominate. They're flashing after Yoda. Piltover Peacemaker pops the Bloodwell passive while Bubbadub gets focused out here. One more auto attack and first blood goes to Cop. Exhaust goes onto Yoda, but it doesn't save him. The dragon kills Quas. Yoda gets taken out. Double kill for Cop. Red buff for him. Flash onto IWillDominate. ROBERTxLEE picks up 1 kill. Westrice gonna be his next target. He's got red buff. He's got auto attack. Safeguard gonna keep Westrice safe. Barrier comes out. Zekent takes a kill. And it's going to be a 3-for-1 so far. ROBERTxLEE gets out, but now a red buffed up Cop comes into the lane with his support, and Curse take a big lead with that.
That's the downside of using your jungler to delay like that and not gaining anything off of it, is Dominate was extremely susceptible to pressure from even the support. We saw Nidus Hermain from GGLA do that quite frequently when they were going to be going on their own jungle invade patterns. Here, it winds up costing the side of TBD, though. They wind up giving away not only red buff, but 2 kills to Corky. And Cop in that bottom lane, he's definitely going to use this one offensively. Robert is 1-0-1 himself, but Cop has so much more gold, so much more pressure over him right now, and it's definitely going to be a detriment to the one lane that sort of had something going for TBD.
That was a 3-for-2 overall, but yeah, now we still see level 2 IWillDominate. Elise is going to be ahead. Yoda's going to be able to use his advantage as he does go up top. He doesn't have to clear any more buffs as he just lost it. He's going to get his blue and head up there. And Arthelon could look to make some pressure while Quas in the mid lane going to get initiated on here. Sonic Wave Resonating Strike, but he just heals off of that blood price. And now we do have a Jarvan doing the race, trying to level up and catch up Voyboy on that Ninja Kennen's, trying to smell something amiss. But Yoda, keeping that pressure in that brush. Arthelon's going to pressure up and look to probably throw that Null Sphere on when Elise wants to come in. We do have a 3-man roam coming up top, though. Westrice leaving mid lane, coming through Tri-Brush right now, as they are looking to possibly get Voyboy out. He's got the Lightning Rush. I don't know if he can get out just yet. Sonic Wave connects, Resonating Strike comes in. The Tempest Cripple combination to slow him down, but he just Lightning Rushes right on out.
Yeah, Voyboy still had his flash available, so they needed was Westrice and Yoda to be on point, but actually bottom lane Cop gets hooked.
Yep, and they're looking to go in. Flay to connect him backwards. The red buff from Cop, though, is laying in a ton of damage with that dot. Gonna see the minions go down there, and yeah, nothing too crazy gonna evolve from that, just a lot of poke back and forth.
Yeah, and they're still very afraid to try to engage on Cop too hard due to that red buff and the slow potential. They have that in addition to a power cord out from Sona. That's a lot of damage that could go down on somebody. And with Thresh's Lantern on cooldown, getting a little extra shield onto Robert early on, they definitely don't want to try to push their luck here.
No. And we do have pings onto the back there. They feel like Dominate could be roaming down there. Dominate does have his red buff now, hit level 4. Could look to get the flag and drag combo and finally make something happen. With him being that far behind in the jungle, he actually has taken a level lead over Yoda, who was sitting top for a long time and is doing golems in the bot lane there. But I don't know if he's going to roam to make a gank attempt on bot lane, as the flashes are still down for Cop and Zekent.
Now, this is something a little characteristic of TBD. If they get into a disadvantageous situation, they try to force something to wind up equalizing or gaining an advantage once again. This was sending Westrice to roam out of mid lane, so he has a huge CS disadvantage against Quas. This was having Elise wait up there and try to capitalize on getting a kill on Voyboy and snowballing the very heavily mobile and very heavily snowbally Kassadin in that top lane. Nothing wound up coming up for it, so all the disadvantages against Dominate have been nullified at this point. All the advantages that they could potentially gain in one of those lanes, they didn't wind up getting it. So now TBD, they're playing off the back foot, and I actually wouldn't be surprised if they do try to force something else again very soon.
Quas is level 6 already and chunking Westrice down to about 300 HP. He's gonna look to go back in. Massacre's gonna get popped. Flag and drag. Yoda gets taken out by Quas. That Massacre damage coming in with a blood price to take him out. And this is also going to potentially be the first turn of the game in favor of Curse.
Yeah, and that's what we were saying. The experience, the CS, the advantages that Curse had gained off of TBD, trying to set something up a little bit too hard. Cross at level 6, well, there's a 2-level advantage over anybody else in that lane on
they're
Curse.
Just face taking it.
Yeah, they're just going to be able to take that one down. And now the dangerous potential of a Quas and Dominate roaming gang squad. NID did that against GGLA with the same champion combination on Scuba, Chris, and Enox in the last game they played, and it was devastating.
Yeah, and they could look for turret dives with that Blood Bowl passive when it does come back up, as it should be up right now, and it is. Dominate's going to swing over towards that top lane. Here are the Golems, code is Wraiths, and Cop and Zekent are having a nice little time in this bot lane. They are leading by about 10 CS, so pushing that one to their advantage, while a 20 CS differential is apparent in that mid lane, and Quas is just benefiting off that crazy hook coming in, but it doesn't connect as Cop does get out. And we do see Bow's Water Cutlass already, as well as a Haunting Guise for Voyboy already in his first back. And then a Sheen for Corky down bot.
Well, here's the problem. Even if that hook had landed from Bubbadub onto Cop, he has the Valkyrie to get away, his flash is almost up, and Elise was coming in. Elise was far away and still only level 4, so there's not a lot of kill potential coming out. Yoda, he finally gets hit level 5 off of his second red buff going around the jungle, but he's in a very, very unfavorable situation here. Dominate, he at level 5, he's gone back and bought a Doran's Blade because he knows that he can wind up taking a fight to Elise if they run into each other, and he has that experience advantage, and he knows that he can just calmly set something up for his team if they so choose to, because there's also the roaming threat of Quas now that tower and mid lane is down.
Yeah, and we could potentially see it happen now as he's looking to go towards the entrance of the mid lane, actually. So no roam just yet, but we do have Dominate collapsing on this. Could be a 2v1 as Quas gonna get ready. Blood Price is activated, gonna miss the Dark Flight, no knockup as Westrice dodging away from that, a nice sidestep. Gonna be able to just walk right on out of there and just make that gank to no avail.
Yeah, that was a very interesting choice to gank one of the more mobile champions. There's some really good moves from Westrice. He dodges both of the knock-up abilities, which means that there's no free damage being put down on him, and he could just wind up safeguarding or whatever he needs to do to get away from that one. So spent a little bit of time right there, and well, that's just letting Elise once again sit in the jungle, farm up. Now the slight experience advantage Dominate had kind of been nullified out a little bit. They're both about to hit level 6 here.
And Voyboy sitting up top. We do have him not going in just yet. Maybe waiting for the wave to progress a little bit further. There we go. And we'll just go back to picking up the CS. It's going to be a little bit lull in the action for now. Dragon is pink warded. They can take control of that and look to make a play over there, especially with the huge level lead that Quas has. But I think they're going to be content with letting him just farm up. He's farming up the jungle right now. Arthelon and Voyboy are just poking back and forth. Shurikens all over the place. Stun comes out. Voyboy's going to go in. There's the Slicing Maelstrom. He gets a double stun out of that one. Ignite comes out. There's the Electric Shuriken. And now the auto attacks with Ignite. Voyboy soloing out Arthelon through his Whiff Rock, and I'm surprised it didn't flash after the first Whiff Walk.
I'm a little bit surprised as well, but it looks like Arthelon, he just didn't want to burn all too much. Kennen already has a massive CS advantage, has a decent lane phase against Kassadin, being a range versus melee and having all that auto attack harass with the Doran's Blade start. He has an item advantage as well. Kassadin, he'll scale with that Tear of the Goddess, eventually turning into a Saros Embrace in the late game, but right now, there are no combat statistics. He has a Doran shield and the Tear, whereas Kennen has already completed a Haunting, guys. Arthelon, he didn't really stand much of a chance in that duel.
No, the 3v2 up top here is going to come out now. Neurotox going to harass out just a little bit on Quas. We have double buffed up Yoda, though. Can just keep on throwing everything out like he just threw out that cocoon, but not connecting. That turret is very low. A few more auto attacks will take that one down. But ROBERTxLEE and Bubbadub down here have been laying into this bot turret, taking it down to about half HP. While Bubbadub does rotate towards the Dragon Pit, probably will drop a pink and clear that out and try to gain some control over that, as that can be a big fight potential for either side.
And going back to that bottom, you bring up a really great point. Robert and Bubbadub are doing a fantastic job down here. The CS is relatively even, despite Corky getting those first 2 kills of the game and a red buff to harass down upon them. They've done a really great job of dissuading this bottom lane from Curse of being all too aggressive. Jarvan has been everywhere else on the map except for that bottom lane. The only thing he's done is gone over towards Dragon and maybe check for some wards. There's been no real pressure put on this bot lane from Dominate, and it's one thing that TBD can hold on to going into the mid game.
Yeah, and they can rely on that ROBERTx carry for themselves. Elise is going over. She's going to solo Dragon right now. She's being very sneaky. Yoda is doing a really good play with that. I think they might have seen Dominate up top. There are pings from his own team. He knows he's doing it. That top turret is going to fall. They're going to give that one up, but they're going to try to get some global pressure here as they take over the Dragon Pit. And you see Arthelon coming in to help him out, as well as Westrice. So this is going to be Dragon over to TBD in a very sneaky play.
Yeah, that's a really good play for them as well. It's going to get them that extra global gold, and Curse is not going to be able to snuff this one out quite yet. The pink ward control from that bottom side of both Yoda and Bubbadub, we see already. Quas roams over, he checks it, and that's a very sad Curse gaming. Like, hey, when did they take that Dragon after all? That's something that they need to kind of kickstart them going back into this, but at the same time, because Arthelon roamed away, Kennen was able to take that top tower, so Voyboy doing a good job of keeping up the pressure across map.
Yeah, but still the gold lead in favor of Curse right now, as they are just pressing their advantages, and all the farm is going over to Quas, who almost has perfect CS. He's 4 away from 120 CS in 12 minutes. Dominate sitting on a ward in this bot lane, trying to make some plays happen. Zekent is pushing this one up, but Arthelon going to get initiated on here by Quas. The Ignite gets dropped. There's the Massacre as well. Arthelon, are you going to come back into this? I hope you don't. He decides not to. Goes back to Rift Walk behind his tier 2. Bubbadub going to land the Flay. The Death Sentence coming. Yoda, the Cocoon as well. The Chain of CC for the wall from the box. He's going to actually connect. Cop is going to use the Valkyrie to get out of there. Bubbadub is still alive, just barely. Cataclysm onto Yoda right now. He's going to get trapped up there. Is the snipe still available for Robert? He's using the Mana Potion. Doesn't look like he's going to use it right now, but the tier 2 in the mid lane is going to fall. The Quas and Voyboy, who are split pushing this one down, as Westrice going to come in on the back line. And now Quas is going to turn his attention to that one, but they just choose to disengage. And they trade 1 for none in the bot lane still, and get a nice kill over to, I think it was Bubbadub.
It was a really good fight for the side of TBD, because they saw that Jarvan was there and they hooked them in thinking that, hey, you know, okay, maybe they didn't have a ward there, they didn't see Jarvan, this is a 3v2, and they hooked us under tower. Elise comes in the great cocoon, the box goes down, but more importantly, Zekent's crescendo did not hit Robert. So he was just sitting behind the tower, sitting next to the tower, wailing away at those auto attacks. Curse, however, has a great response. They're like, jungler's bottom lane, we forced Arthelon back, we're going to keep the pressure mid lane and take the tower. So even though TBD gets a kill, and it's a good thing for them, Curse, this map pressure they have, these powerful solo laners that are able to out-duel the rest of TBD's team, are continuing to take these objectives on the map and have given Curse this 3-0 tower advantage. Yeah,
and I love what Quas is doing right now. He built a Tiamat instead of rushing for that Blade of the Rune King, so he's got a lot of wave clear, a lot of burst potential with his damage with that Tiamat active. So gonna have the sustain, and now gonna have a huge amount of wave clear, gonna be able to farm up even better. Oracles was picked up by Zekent. Now they're looking for a lot of map control. They know that the Dragon is gone. They're like, damn, we missed that one. But either way, they still have a 3-turn advantage to none over TBD.
And just touching upon that Tiamat pickup, like you said, he goes for the Bilgewater Cutlass for the sustain. He has the Tiamat because we talked about it in Champions Select. Aatrox has a lot of split pushing power, and the rest of Curse has the AoE to lock up the team from TBD. If someone's going to try to duel Quas, they won't win with the sustain from the Bilgewater, eventually Blade of the Rune King, and they won't be able to out-push him with a Ravenous Hydra.
He just killed all those little innocent spiderlings. Elise is going to be very sad now those babies are gone. Pink ward battle coming in this tribe rush now, as it was one more hit away from being taken out, but Zekent going to give that one up and come back another day. He's got the oracles, so can clear it out. And Quas was looking to fight Yoda right there. He knows he's strong. He's level 11, level 2 massacre for him. That's a ton of bonus AD and attack speed for that. And yeah, just going to see blue buff go over to dominate and him rotate towards bot.
I think the question is when Quas does not want to fight in this game?
Yeah.
1-1 and 2 has the highest CS in the game right now at 145 and a massive advantage right now. Level 11, the only one close to him is, well, Westrice, who is trying to proxy farm between towers against Voyboy, and pings are going down that, hey, we might want to try to stop him from doing this, because like we said, one thing Westrice does extremely well is just split push a lane until team needs him.
Speaking of team right now, Bubbadub was getting caught out there. They're going to use the Cataclysm, going to drop the Dragon Strike, but there's Cop in the back. Phosphorus Bomb picks for the kill, and a nice little pick off from Dominate there. And now we're going to see them look to pressure a 2-2 down here. There's a ping for help, I think, coming in. But it looks like Quas is going to slow Yoda, going to scare him away. Don't want him to kill any more of those spiderlings. But Arthelon's heading down. Voyboy's free farming up top, and this tier 2 is being pressured as Arthelon throws out the Null Sphere to try to throw out some wave quick. ROBERTxLEE and Yoda. And we're going to see the 4v4 potentially evolve bot, but it looks like Arthelon's going to head back, and Voyboy's just going to keep on split pushing up top.
Yeah, and this is a little bit of a backwards kind of thing here, is where we have split push Kennen and team fight Aatrox in the bottom.
Yeah, it looks like ROBERTxLEE's getting dove out here. Dominate is taking the turret for Cop to try to come in, but going to just back off, and now Yoda going to get chunked away there. Quas is sustaining like a monster. And ROBERTxLEE is below half HP. Could be very deadly for him if he doesn't get bursted out.
Yeah, well, it looks like right now Quas is going to take some poke, and they're just content to sit back and poke away at this tower, try to force TBD off of it. The Corky missiles, even some poke coming out from Quas, actually, with the Torrented Blades, and, well, they catch Arthelon.
There's the Massacre, and there's the rocket coming from a Cop. That crit coming in with the Trinity Force, the 10%. Gonna take out Arthelon, who did just get dove completely out there. The Massacre damage is huge, as well as all the rockets coming in from Cop. Yoda gonna get stopped there, as now they're gonna look to dive on him. He flashes over the wall, gets out of there, but the tier 2 is still gonna fall. Dominate actually taking the turret still. Is he gonna die for that? He's forced to flash away.
Well, both junglers have to burn flash in there. Dominate taking the tower up, and Elise recalling in a very interesting position, I'll have to say, at that one, but Arthelon steps a little bit too forward, no ward coverage in his own jungle, and even though he's mobile Kassadin, you can't really rift walk away. He's been knocked up in the air twice, so he winds up getting a little miss out of position and winds up getting caught for it. The tower goes down. Curse continuing to pressure these tower objectives on the map. It is 5-0 right now. The only thing that TBD really has on their side, Westrice has been farming up like a beast at this point, and he's contesting Quas for that highest CS in the game total. Plus, they still have that first dragon, and they're the only ones with the timer on it, although they did see Curse clear the ward away from it after they took it. So now that it's live on the map, we could potentially see this be the next point for either team to try to go for it. It looks like Curse going to beat TBD to the punch.
Yeah, and this time to look at this advantage. They already have a 5,000 gold lead. They can take this one out and make that lead even bigger. Well, Westrice is still pushing in the mid lane. Voyboy's going to give a response to that. Red team picks it up. Curse going to have another dragon, have their first dragon of the game under their belt, and look to rotate towards this mid lane as Yoda going to get caught out here. There's the flag and drag. Doesn't connect the knockup. A nice repel, but are there wraiths? There are no wraiths for him to go over to. Takes the lantern out of the repel, and Yoda gets out just barely thanks to that dark passage from Bubbadub.
Yeah, it would have been a really crafty escape if he went to the Wraiths, but the camp had already been cleared by the side because Curse has dominant vision of the enemy jungle right now. Just look at all the wards they have down there on the enemy red side. At the same time, now TBD, they're trying to just push and pull Curse apart. They are having Westrice and Arthelon split into different areas and be very tasty bait for what Curse wants to try to do is they just want to run it going on him here.
Getting caught out. He does the kick and the Sonic Wave Resident Strike to flash over the side of that wall, but now he's going to try to dodge away from the safeguarding away. Gonna go into Baron? No, aggro.
Barely outside the kill.
Oh! The Shuriken coming in from Voyboy picking up that kill, and almost a great shoot. Quas coming in as a Bubbadub now, gets played back, trapped the zone in the box as well. He flashes out of it. The slows, the Cataclysm, all the Cataclysm coming in from Curse right now. Bubbadub gonna get taken out by the Phosphorus Bomb, and that is gonna be a 2-for-none in favor. Oh, actually, never mind. There is Arthelon in the back, drops the Ignite, and that is gonna be a dead Dominate, as now it is a 1-for-2 in favor of Curse still. Arthelon coming in through the wall, gets crescendo. Dark Blade coming in, and he gets blown up by Cop, picking up the kill there. And that is going to be overall a 3-for-1 in favor of Curse after all the last-minute entrances by everybody.
I like the fancy moves that Westrice is able to pull to stall Curse for so long, and he forced 5 of them to chase him. TBD was looking for something like that. What they were not looking for after that was fighting a 4v5 scattered situation where it was more kind of like a 1v3 and then a 2v4 kind of cleanup duty that Kassadin just wasn't able to really control in. They did a really great job at distracting Curse and taking him away from trying to pressure down that mid lane inhibitor tower, but the problem is they didn't capitalize on the distraction. They didn't have Arthelon try to take down that top tower. They didn't have anybody pushing down in the bottom side of the map. The only thing they really had was, let's try to force this weird engagement where they just did not come out ahead.
No. And Robert is still keeping up with comp in the regard of CS, but he's still going to be behind in items and lacking. The Sword Shoes finished. The Last Whisper going to be the next item here for comp. We do have Bloodthirster, we do have Zeal, so trying to get some of that crit, as well as build towards that Fencer or Static Shift, and then Last Whisper for the Trinity of items. But he still holds it on, he's still strong, and he can make some plays if he wants to. The tier 1 in the mid lane is going to go down, and that's going to be the first turn of the game for TBD, but they're still down by 4. And even on Dragons for both teams.
Well, a glimmer of hope here is those outer towers were worked on by their split pushers in both Arthelon and Westrice. The mid one's going to fall. This top one, some damage was dealt to it by Arthelon before he rejoined in that fight. So Westrice is going to take that one down. And the bottom tower, it's been harassed in the laning phase by Bubbadub and ROBERTxLEE. So that could potentially be a target that now TBD tries to rotate to. And the only thing is the vision needs to be key. We had Bubbadub with that Oracle's Elixir. He needs to have somebody else with him to help clear out these wards. Otherwise, Quas is just going to pounce on him and take him out.
Yeah, Quas can pounce on anybody right now. That Ravenous Hydra is finished foregoing the Blade of the Rune King. The ward did just die on the pit there. It is pink warded. They might try to bait this one out, actually. They're waiting on the side of that wall. They're waiting for Yoda to step up a little bit more on the other side of that ramp. Looks like Bubba is going to drop a ward on the other side. And they will be spotted out as now they ping onto it and finally will take it out. Bubbadub saving his teammate's life from having to face check. Voyboy looking to try to aggro Baron as he throws the shuriken that way, but they decide not to. Arthelon is going to step his foot in. Going to get caught out by a power cord and the Hymn of Valor as they are still trying to bait this. The Curse really want to fight right now.
Well, the roster may have completely changed, but the go-to strategy of Curse has not. It's the Baron dance, and they're backing away from this one because they don't have the best track record with it. They are once again chasing after the very tasty Westrice, who is keeping up and at one point had even more CS than Quas did in that kind of solo laner matchup here. They're both gone for extremely similar item builds. One thing that Quas has is that build toward a Cutlass he has not completed as a Blade of the Rune King, but they're not utilizing his item choice all too well. Voyboy has been split pushing. Yes, he has 2 kills for himself, but there's 10 kills on the map, so he hasn't really utilized that AoE besides as a duelist kind of matchup. Quas on the opposite side, though, he's been involved in a lot of kills, but he has more of a split push kind of build with that Ravenous Hydra first. They are grouping up and trying to bait things out because they're definitely strong as a team fight. They have AoE lockdown, and Quas can literally, with his ultimate, massacre everybody, but they're not utilizing their strengths as much as they could be in a situation, and Westrice is.
The Flash Crescendo going into Bubbadub. Now Master comes out. Bubbadub gets obliterated. The Slicing Maelstrom gets slowed up by the box. ROBERTxLEE gets caught out, though. Kappa's going to chase that one out with the big one, but Quas, with the Boba passive still down ignited, going to try to get out of here. The snipe onto Kopp. Voyboy takes it for the team. Arthelon going to look for the snipe on Quas. Can he get it? Does not get in range. Just Rift walks his way out of the base, and now we're going to see them back up, potentially get an inhibitor here. Westrice finally joining the team. Coming in, there's the kick, and then Ignite picking up the kill. Arthelon gets exhausted. Westrice and Arthelon try to hold up this base with Robert, who is fully healed up. And Kopp will just Valkyrie out, and the chase continues now. This is what you don't want to happen. Riftwalk coming in. There is the
blood just came up.
It came up actually in time. The trap connects though. ROBERTxLEE needs one more hit. He nets and doesn't get in range. Westrice going to try to take out Kopp here. Sonic Wave, Resonate Strike barrier though from Kopp. Can they pick it up? Bubbadub flashing it, auto attack play. He doesn't get the laser in time, but Zeka getting caught out by the death sentence. ROBERTxLEE picks up the kill. Arthelon's alive in the background though. Picks up a kill on Dominate. That is going to be a 4 for 1 still, as Quas now going to die here, as he goes Dark Slice onto Bubbadub, gets taken out by Arthelon burst, double kill for him, and that is going to be all 5 members, and Ace coming in, even with Voyboy spawning in the back line of that 1 second left on his timer. I don't know, but still it's a 1 for 5 in favor of TBD, who hold up the base and inhibitor perfectly.
Hesitation is the seed of defeat, and whether it be in a Baron bait or a teamfight engagement, it has plagued Curse since they joined the LCS at the beginning of Season 3. Even with a new roster here, their hesitation is kind of hurting them. Westrice was split pushing down on the bottom, and Curse identified a little bit late that, hey, we can wind up just diving this tower 5v4 because we are super strong. They took out some targets from the side of TBD, but Westrice came back in, and we had Quas tanking the tower without his Bloodwell passive up at the time. So he took a lot of damage and wasn't involved in the fight after that when TBD's biggest carriest member right now rejoined and wound up going on cleanup duty. TBD was able to chase that one down in the afterwards because they were so close to their base. Bubbadub doesn't have home guards, but he has boots of mobility, and that excellent flash in, the flay to secure a kill, and then the death sentence immediately after was an extremely impressive series of plays coming out from the support, and we saw how it factors into a fight. And Curse, well, they just played that one a little bit poorly there, but they are going to wind up trying to rebound by taking a dragon.
Yep, dragon going over to Curse now. They have a 5,000 goldie. Westrice without the Sonic Wave. It's not like he wants to resonate. Oh, he actually goes in with Resonating Strike. Gonna turn around on that one, take little no damage for that. But Robert throwing out the snipe onto Voyboy, Sonic Wave, Resonating Strike, flashes, gets the kick on a Quas. Can they pick him off? They can! Actually, no, they actually pick up Westrice instead. Quas dies in the end. There is the Zonias, there's the Slicing Maelstrom from the Sun. Cobb trying to follow up, gets flayed into the wall, as now Yoda gets taken out by Dominate with the Cataclysm. ROBERTxLEE stuck inside of that one. He will get slowed up by the cords, and Cobb picks up that kill, and they just turn that fight around, trading Quas for 3 members of TBD. They were hesitating, looking to go towards Baron, but they notice the inhibitors open in mid and are going to try to take that one down with 30 seconds spawners left.
Well, that's what happens when you don't have a tower hitting Quas the entire time in that fight. So, Curse, they definitely were able to turn that one around. Like we said before, they were still stronger than TBD, and TBD did ace them. It was a little bit of false confidence in that regard because there was a tower in the last fight that wound up helping them out. So now, Curse, they're going to wind up going onto this inhibitor. It's going to get picked up for them, and unfortunately for TBD, they just don't have the power right now to chase this one down again.
Maybe Arthelon is just going to throw out the Null Sphere, chase on a Zekent. Zekent's going to sacrifice himself here. He does not have Flash, but he is going to try to get out of there with the speed. Tempest cripple combination coming in. He is not long for this world, and he gets taken out. Null Sphere for Arthelon. He's on a killing spree now. Currently 4-3. Bubbadub going to drop the ward of the wall and stop Dominate's back as he is going to start warding up this Baron pit.
It's a noble sacrifice there from Zekent, but we'll have to see what it's going to cost Curse at this point in time. Baron is on the map, and it looks like that TBD with 5 members strong. They've tried to stop as many members of Curse from recalling as possible. It looked like they wanted to go for it, but all they're really going to get is some clear vision, as unfortunately for them, Quas respawned, Corky and Kennen were able to go back and heal. The only one they really stopped was the smite power of Dominate.
Yep, Baron pit getting cleared out now. Yoda over that side. Westrice getting pinged on. Arthelon is there to back him up with Yoda. Are going to potentially see a 3v3 as everybody is collapsing. Quas gonna go in, pops the Massacre, gonna drop the Bilgewater Cutlass, gets kicked away, a ton of damage, and even hitting Voyboy. Westrice gets out of there with a nice swift hit to the face. Yeah,
Westrice has definitely been a slippery character for Curse to try to catch this game, but when they do wind up taking him out in a fight, it usually results in good things. In that last fight in the middle area, they traded Quas for Westrice in the beginning, and they were able to just dominate the remaining members of TBD because Robert, he hasn't necessarily gone for a very fighting kind of Caitlyn style. He has the Bloodthirster and Last Whisper, which is that tower sieging and the Q and R deal a lot of damage style of Caitlyn. So he's going to have protection from this, but unfortunately for the side of TBD, Yoda has been on the back foot for the entire game, and once Westrice is gone, there's nobody to really absorb damage for Robert in that fight.
There was a ping onto all the Curse right there. There's a cocoon that comes in, does not connect. Dominate, I think, actually left Brush. I don't know if they see him. The Spiderling's going to scout it out as well as the Lantern, and the jig is up, and they will be forced to back out of that Brush.
Well, now what Curse is doing, I like this a lot because they're grouping as the 4 members that are not Quas, that do not have Ravenous Hydra, and trying to catch or force TBD to move to them or try to fight them. In the meantime, Quas with that Ravenous Hydra has helped split push all the way down to this last remaining outer tower coming out from TBD. So now with 7 towers compared to 3, they could group up on either side. They could send Quas to the opposite side of the map. Doesn't really matter. Speaking of opposite side of the map, look where Westrice is right now. He has to run back to try to defend this because 5 members of Curse here sieging this tower. Well, they took it down last time, but we'll have to see if a fight ensues for TBD's favor again.
Westrice is flanking from the side. There are wards being dropped over the walls, and we are seeing Zekent keep his team safe with all the vision that he applies. We do see ping out the Bubbadub. He's going to clear out with his oracles. As they do ping towards the blue side, going to have him have the protection of potentially Westrice as he does war jump over the wall. Gets the Sonic Wave. Is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? He decides not to, holds off on that trigger finger. We are seeing ROBERTxLEE clear out the waves with the Piltover Peacemakers. He has a lot of damage in him, but Quas is going to go into Westrice here. Sonic Wave Resonating Strike. The snipe goes onto Zekent now. Quas is going to get kicked actually into the Bloodwell passive. Sonic Wave, before he comes out of that Bloodwell, he's forced to flash out as well as have his shield pop from that Hex Drinker, and now it's going to force Curse to back out there. That was a ton of damage.
Or is it? Curse is grouping in this brush. They think that TBD is going to chase them over again, but this is a really great job. TBD, they show a little bit of discipline. They pop the Bloodwell, and then they back away from this one. Now they're trying to force down Curse and see where they're going, and now that they know that they haven't started the Baron yet, they're going to back away. They do have time to potentially go back and heal, but without a lot of home guards on their side, only 2, actually 3, as Westrice actually has them for himself, they might not be in here in enough time to contest this Baron.
Yeah, it is going to go over to Curse right now, laying into it, taking it all out, and it's a little too late for you guys on the side of TBD. Takes a Lance, and Yoda gets out of there, and they will be baroned up. Curse now with that 5,000 gold he's using, looking strong, and potentially going to look to not even go back to base and just push top for another inhibitor.
Well, Curse with that Baron buff, they can pretty much do whatever they want right now. They have a lot of gold to spend taking down that Baron. They have applied a lot of pressure onto the base of TBD. That mid inhibitor is still down. Actually, it might be respawning in just a little bit here. But one thing that they have is a lot of gold now to spend. We see Quas finishing the Blade of the Rune King, so he is going to be that big menace in team fights where he can pretty much sustain himself or chase down any stragglers. We have a Locket of the Iron Solari picked up here from Dominate, so he has that AoE extra shield, and Kennen has had his Zanya's Hourglass and is now accentuating his strengths right now. He's gone back with the Blasting Wand, and he has a blue pot. We have a red pot coming out here from Cop at the same time. So Curse, they're looking to utilize this Baron buff to put pressure continuously on TBD's base, have every lane pushing into that base, and then go for a fight if one presents itself. If not, Quas is there for the split push, and they could force something on TBD.
Yeah, and actually, Westrice has taken a huge CS lead. He's got 300 CS, all that roaming around, all that split pushing has netted him quite a bit of farm, as well as having that last pusher to help him chunk through some of the armor of Curse. The inhibitor is respawning soon. The Covenant is actually up, excuse me. So we're going to see them look to try to defend this one on the side of TBD. Ward's being dropped out there. Westrice could look to do the ward jump play into kick if he does find the opportunity.
Yeah, but who does he want to kick there? You don't want to kick Dominate, you don't want to kick Voyboy, and you don't want to kick Quas. The only primary target is Cop. You can kind of Valkyrie out. Even Zekent. If you kick Zekent and he gets a really good crescendo, you've kind of signed a death wish for your team. So he's going to be very, very careful about wanting to go in here.
Yep, Trap's going to be eaten there by Dominate. Takes a kick to the face. Now, the wave clear coming in from those rockets are helping Cop shove down this one. They see the cancel on the Sonic Wave Resonating Strike, but Yoda now getting caught out, bursted out there. The kick Voyboy away, that's going to be down, and now the inhibitor falls for free as Curse not even taking any poke.
Yeah, and well, there it goes. One's going down for them. So they're going to wind up rotating around. Like we said, this Baron buff, they can push all the lanes. All the minion pressure is on TBD's side of the map and going towards their base. This already softened up tower. It's probably going to end up going down right here. And unfortunately for TBD, they really can't defend at this point. They just kind of have to give it up. And maybe that even that inhibitor, if they get a really good catch from Bubbadub, they might be able to burst down a target. But Quas has the Bloodwell up. Like we said, you pull anybody else into that fight, the only one you really want to try to kill is Cop here. And Curse, they're just a little bit too far ahead for that catch potential to really backfire on them.
Yeah, and Arthelon is trying to land in some poke. He's trying to throw out the Null Spheres. Death Sentence not going to connect. Are just waiting to see who is going to pull the trigger first. Sonic waving. He's going to safeguard over the wall. Decides to back off of that one. Quas going to clear out some wolves. Curse going to rotate around, drop some more wards, and steal this blue buff away from Arthelon. So not going to have that one. Going to give it to Cop so he can keep on spamming those missiles and reset the internal cooldown on those with the 20% CR he does get from that blue buff.
Well, now with the blue buff on Corky, in addition to every other buff that you could potentially get on the map, they're just going to sit here and siege down on this inhibitor. The poke coming out from this Blades of Torment, as well as the rockets and the Kennen poke, is going to force TBD back from this one. And Westrice continue to do his split pushy thing across map, even when inhibitors are being given up. So he just wants to try to get as much itemization as possible because he knows his team is relying on him and Robert to try to do anything to Curse at this point.
Yeah, we see him going in. The snipe comes out as well from Robert. The kick, actually, they kick Dominate over the wall. Doesn't even have the flag and drag for that one. And now the rotation coming in and looking to be complete as Curse head towards the bot lane to make it the last and final inhibitor of the game.
2 inhibitors down is really hard to come back from. 3 inhibitors down, well, we've seen it once so far in the NACL with Complexity against GGLA in an hour-long slugfest between those two. But it looks like this is the last hope for TBD here.
Yeah, the box comes out, not with anybody in it. There's a crescendo and a cataclysm. 3 members in that one. Voyboy with the slicing maelstrom. That is going to be Westrice safeguarding out. No one dying just yet. A flight in from the Dark Flight and the Massacre from Quas. A beautiful play from Bubbadub, keeping them safe, but they lose their third inhibitor, and now double super minions are going to be spawning in the lanes in this next wave. And we will see if TBD can hold this one off.
Well, you saw TBD in the panic that they had. As soon as that tower goes down, they know that's their last line of defense, and that last inhibitor is going to fall. The only thing left is the Nexus towers, and if you're fighting on those, you already know you're in a very, very bad position. We saw the reactionary skills just going off. The box goes down, but nobody in it, and Curse capitalizes on that. One thing that they do have on their side is nobody died in that engagement, but now they have to literally defend, and Curse just takes the map, takes every buff. Their Baron buff, well, it's pretty much run out at this point, so they're not going to have that one, but they have everything else available to them, whereas TBD, they have their Nexus to defend. That's about it.
Yeah. There's a Nexus turret they can look to defend as well. Baron has faded, though. It's going to be up in about a minute and 50 seconds if Curse want to look to make a side trip towards that one. We do see Arthelon holding off these waves up top. He's got the Ceres Embrace, he's got the Rod, he's not doing as much damage, he's got the Blue Pot as well to help with that, but still, we see the 4-man squad, or 5-man squad as Dominate finally joins them, pushing down mid, and it's just a matter of time before they look to try to end this game.
Alright, so it looks like Curse is going to wind up pushing down this mid here, like you said, Dad. They're looking to end the game. They have super minions pouring down every lane. One thing TBD tried to do was alleviate a bit of that map pressure and push those waves out, so the mid lane's the only one, but Yoda, no!
Voyboy's gonna get caught out there, force these Lightning Rush to get out, but Yoda getting bursted out. Quas gets the double kill. Going out to Arthelon now, but Arthelon does pick up a kill for Jones. Takes out Voyboy, uses the Ceres Embrace to run away. ROBERTxLEE kiting away from this one, trying to at least, but no, Flag and Dragon auto attack, and GG's come out as TBD will fall Team Curse.
Yeah, Curse definitely came out ahead in that engagement. Yoda was just kind of picked out of nowhere in the middle of the enemy team. Westrice went in to try to save him and cause some havoc, but when Westrice winds up going down, well, the rest of the enemy team from TBD winds up going down as well. So unable to really help carry his team out of that hole right there. TBD does wind up falling to Curse Gaming, who took a very solid victory in this one. Quas got rather large in the beginning stages of the game, and even though Cop didn't have a huge impact in the laning phase and snowball like the rest of Curse was able to, the one thing he definitely was able to do was supplement the damage in team fights, poke at those Corky rockets, and he comes out with a really impressive 10-2-5 KDA spread in that game.
Yeah, and with that, we will be heading into the final game of tonight, and we will be going to a music and a quick commercial break. Everybody's